And what is up, everybody? Okay, it's about just after 1:30 a.m. I just finished binge watching the entire season 1 of Marvel's The Defenders on Netflix. All right, and I must say it is. Let me put it to you like this: the complete lack of action that people were complaining about from Iron Fist, there's more than made up for in the just 8 episodes. And then on top of that, it it made it seem as if Luke Cage's fighting skills especially has greatly improved, as well as Finn Jones. And I know firsthand that Finn Jones can't punch his way out of a wet paper bag. But as good as this show was, this video is going to be a bit long due to the fact that I've got a pretty long story to tell, because I've made mention of the fact that I had gotten my acting career started about a year ago, and first I did a television pilot. It was just as a background actor, and it was through them I found out about a certain casting agency that does um all the Marvel shows. So I said, that's what I want to do. When I signed up, I called in, and they got me the first gig. And the first gig I did was the Chinatown scene in the first episode of Iron Fist, and that was great. And then they called me back a couple weeks later for another scene. I was in 3 episodes: episodes 1, episodes 8, and episode 10. Episode 10, I had an issue with, because they featured me as a member of the Hand. So I was officially a part of the evil ninja clan of the Marvel Universe. But they had me show up in a tracksuit. But it's the Hand. They're ninjas. Why am I dressed up in a jogging suit? And in episode 10, if you're looking for me, for those, basically, there's a building that they're holding Madame Gao in, and there's two big guys, standing in the front door. I'm the white dude. Here's the problem: the guy that they had partnered me with was a complete idiot. He was very unprofessional, and he got me into a lot of trouble. For that episode, the parts that I was in was a 2-day shoot, and one happening, the week one happening, one they called me in one Monday, and then I came back a week later, the next Monday, to shoot the same episode. And this guy was constantly telling, "Oh yeah, I won't steer you wrong. Come here," walking out to the set while they're shooting, and talking about how, oh, yeah, he's good with the PAs, this, that, the other, and it just was like everything he was talking about. It just could not be any further from the truth. And then I made the mistake of showing him who the main actor was, Finn Jones. And in my Iron Fist review, I've already stated in my feelings towards Mr. Jones, mostly because on the first episode, for those of you that remember in the Chinatown scene where he literally pushes somebody over, that was me, and that wasn't scripted either. And basically what had happened was they had us wearing the Beijing opera masks, and on top of that, there was bubbles blowing all over the place, and I could barely see through the very, very tiny eyelets. But the bubble solution of all the bubbles blowing up in the air from the bubble machines on the sidewalk and the bubble guns that everybody was holding, that was all popping, and the solution was getting into my eyes. I couldn't see where I was going. All of a sudden, I feel BAM! Right in the middle of my chest, very hard, knocks me back. I didn't know what was going on. I look, and I just see that blonde curly Jufro walked past me. It's like it was Finn Jones. I was just happy to be in the shot. But the only reason why, now I never watched Game of Thrones. I don't watch Game of Thrones, and to I found out that his IMDb credits was Game of Thrones and this. That's it. So when they first posted that, oh yeah, this guy's gonna be Iron Fist, I was like, well, at least he's white, like he's supposed to be, and uh, I didn't know him. I didn't know him. I never saw Game of Thrones. I don't know what this dude looks like. And what happens is uh, since I read comics, I'm a big geek. What happens is I see somebody walking through the crowd, and I see him with his messed up blonde Jufro, not shaven, like torn camel hair sweater, this, that, the other, and these dirty khakis on. And then he had those beige split toe boots, which I thought were gorgeous. Like, where could I get those? It was like they were custom made. And what happens is, I said to myself, as I see him walk past, I was like, you know what? If I just hitchhiked from the Himalayas to New York City, that's probably what I'd look like too. That's the only reason why I was able to spot him out of the crowd. So when I see, after I get checked real hard, and that wasn't scripted, and Finn Jones just keeps walking past, I said I was happy to be in the shot, but afterwards it's like, didn't apologize, nothing. And that's the shot they used, which I figured they would, because something similar like that happened in the original Power Rangers movie, where Jason David Frank actually knocked one of the stunt doubles unconscious, kicked him in the neck, and they thought they killed him. And then they had to like wake him up and reshoot it. But then the shot with him knocking the dude out was what was in the movie. And I don't mind doing that. It just helps tell the story a lot better. Just at least come and say you're sorry. So now I'm working, partnered with this idiot. I'm officially a member of the Hand. I made the mistake of trying to be nice to this guy, and I pointed to him. I was like, "That's Finn Jones. That's the main actor. He's the star." One of the main reasons why was because since nobody really knew since majority of the people on this project didn't even know what the hell Iron Fist was. So they didn't even know who the main actor was. And as background actors, we are not allowed to talk to the principal actors. So it makes sense to point out to everybody, that's the dude you cannot talk to. These are the people you can't talk to. It only makes sense. This moron that I'm partnered with, it was bad enough that when I didn't know that James Liu apparently was the fight choreographer for this, or the stunt coordinator, whatever, for Iron Fist. And what happens is the idiot that I'm partnered with keeps saying, Master Liu, Master Liu, Master Liu. I don't know who Master Liu is. I know who James Liu is. I followed his career since Big Trouble in Little China. The man's a big name in Hollywood. So for him to be a part of this, I met him at the Urban Action Showcase a couple years ago. Nice guy, but I'll try to be professional. Urban Action Showcase is a film festival, and place to be a fanboy. Comic-Con, place to be a fanboy. Now you're on a TV set. You're on a movie set. It's time to work. I learned this a long time ago. So you don't talk to the principal act. You're not allowed to talk to the principal actors. Okay, you don't talk to the principal actors. They're not allowed to bring your phone on set. I don't bring my phone on set. This moron, first off, is trying to talk to this. I forget his full name, and I know it's Hiru. His name is Hiru. The name's Japanese, but this moron taps me on the shoulders like, I think that's Master Liu. I was like, no, that's not. Because Liu's a Chinese name. I know for a fact that dude is Japanese. Because on the first day in Chinatown, a girl basically, told me that this guy, she said that he was one of the original Power Rangers. The fact that he was Japanese and he was one of the original Power Rangers, I knew that wasn't 100% true because he looked entirely too young to have been on, the original Super Sentai Go Ranger. But I knew he was Japanese. And what happens is, while we're on set the second day, when they're shooting the spot where me and this idiot are in front of the building, he walks up to us asking us, "Oh yeah, this, that, the other, this, that, the other." And he was like, "Oh yeah, first time here." He's like, "Yeah, we're actually being featured, this, that, the other." It's like, "And I heard you actually worked on Power Rangers." And he was like, "Yeah, apparently he was on Time Force, and he was a stunt double for the Blue Ranger for like 10 years. From Time Force to the times that Disney had it, even worked on Samurai." And talking to him about it, and I'm telling him how, this, that, the other. And what does the moron next to me? "Are you Master Lou?" It's like, after I told this idiot, "No, that's not this gentleman is Japanese. I don't know his name, but no, that's not James Lou." I knew for a fact that was not James Lou. So you know, that was just one of the many frustrating things about that particular day. And later on, Finn Jones walks up to where we're because he's going to be shooting inside the building. So they're about to show him what's going on. We already know you don't talk to the principal actor. So what does this idiot do? "Yo, what's up, man?" And puts his fist out for a fist bump. And this is why I know Finn Jones is a jerk. Finn Jones looks at him, looks at his fist, looks back up at him, laughs, and just kept walking. Even if the dude was being an idiot and unprofessional, it was like, at least, just as a courtesy, whatever. Finn Jones a jerk? Yes. But that guy had no business trying to talk to him. It's like, and I've spoken to principal actors on set because they said something first. And if you do, keep it short and sweet. Just keep going. That's it. I was on Power. 50 Cent was talking and cracking jokes with everybody. So why not say something to him? The man is a clown. It was very funny conversation we had. Then because I was featured, despite the fact that I don't know how many members and how many friends of mine and members of my family watched the entire season of Iron Fist, front to back, on more than one occasion, even though I was featured, and they could not use me again unless they were using me to be a part of the hand again. No, none of my friends, none of my family members could even spot me. I could show you the footage right now. You cannot see the shit. You can't see my face. If not for the fact that I'm pointing it out to you, you'd be completely oblivious to the fact that that's Darren. So they don't call me back, and that was in August last year. I didn't get a call back until maybe March to be on Defenders. Now I'm a hand operative. The other times I'm a Chinese New Year parade goer. I was a high-end pedestrian, then as a hand operative. So I'm back as a hand operative in for the last episode of The Defenders. They called me. I get the call telling me, it's 9 days of work. Can you commit to that? I'm a disabled veteran. I don't have any other job. All I get is my compensation, and that's not enough for me to live off of. Forced to have to live with my family, especially after my father passed away. So that's less money for everybody. So really, really, there's like nobody's in the shape to really try to live out on their own right now. So I'm here helping with what little I can. But I need something more steady, especially especially trying to do acting. And I'm an artist. I'm a Renaissance man. I have my channel up, Action Fuzz. I make and sell pipe cleaner action figures. Mostly geek related. I've met a bunch of celebrities who've played iconic characters, and I've, made the characters and given it to them. You look up Darren Garcia, look up Action Fuzz on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and you could see all the work that I've done. And so for me to get the call to be on Defenders, to be on another Marvel show, it was bad enough that they said they couldn't use me on Punisher because they're gonna recognize you. It's like you can't even see my face. They needed we need people to pose as Marines. I'm a Marine. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't use you because you were featured. Some featured. My own family couldn't even spot me in what I was featured in. This casting agency doesn't know what the hell they're doing. And I feel like the studio more or less doesn't know what it's doing, because when I get to finally, they say, okay, it's 9 days of work. All right, fine, I could do it. Then they call me to tell me, yeah, it's gonna be 8 days, so you don't have to come in Monday if you could come in on Tuesday. Uh, okay, I could do that. So come in on Tuesday. They finally, first off, the bus gets us there ridiculously late. And again, I'm a hand operative, and they're not dressing up as ninjas. They have me in a black leather jacket, like all black clothes, a black leather jacket. I'm like, but we're operatives of the hand. The hand's the evil ninja clan. Oh well, it's a more modern, modern ninja. So it's within this universe. It's like, well, the Daredevil series is in this universe, and the hand has no problem wearing red ninja uniforms. Why am I not a black leather jacket? And it was absolutely ridiculous. And they don't tell you. It's like they never tell you who they don't tell you who the principal actors are, and they don't tell you and if you know who the principal actors are, they don't tell you like who exactly is going to be there or not. Like, I didn't know 50 Cent was going to be on Power. I didn't know Finn Jones was going to be the second time I was on Iron Fist. Finn Jones wasn't there. So how was I to know that he was going to be there for either day of the episode 10 that I was shooting? So here, we get there late, and they're rushing us to hurry up and get dressed. Most of us didn't even get to eat breakfast, and they're rushing us like, oh, we gotta go. So they finally drag us on the set, and as the assistant director is still setting us up, the director, whoever the hell he is screaming out the top of his lungs, "What the is going on?" He's like, "I'm going to take this. Why are you still?" He's like, "But we didn't even set up the background actors yet." So everybody, get the hell out! Kicks us off set. I get a phone call before lunchtime to say that, yeah, studio doesn't need you tomorrow. But if you could call back and ask about working on, Thursday. Okay, fine, whatever. They don't call us in until way after lunch, and barely did anything. I'm not really complaining about that. They finally send us home, but because all this stuff is shot in New York City, for me to be able to get there on time, because I live in Westchester, and I live very, very far up Westchester. So for me to get to New York City on time for most of these call times, I have to stay the night with my family in Brooklyn. And was supposed to be out there for 4 days. So now I'm stuck out there because I might have to come back again instead of having to waste so much money, like $20 round trip every day just to jump on the Metro North. So it was gonna be entirely too expensive. So I stay in my aunts. I call that Wednesday. They tell me we don't need you for Thursday. However, there is something else we could use you for if you're available. Well, yes, I'm available. I was supposed to, I was supposed to be working. I was supposed to be working Thursday with something that you gave me, and since I can't do that, I'm obviously available. And what they did was they tell me, okay, well, it's for this called All These Small Moments. Apparently, I think it's an indie movie with Molly Ringwald, and they said the thing is they can only pay you with $100 Visa gift cards. Okay, whatever. I'll take that. And so I go to the shoot. They didn't use me at all, but I still got the card. And the only reason why I knew Molly Ringwald was in it was because she just happened to be there. It's like, oh, I guess this is her movie, whatever. But while I was on set, they called me to tell me, oh, we're actually going to need you for tomorrow. So if you could be here if you could be here at this time, it's like, okay, great. So now my 9 days of work turned to 8, now into 7. But now I had this $100 Visa gift card, and for me to travel back and forth, the MTA doesn't accept Visa gift cards. I know this because of a woman who was trying to use a Visa gift card to get her train pass to get to Grand Central from White Plains, and it wasn't working. So I'm trying to see if I can get cash off of it. I can't. However, I'm a geek. I'm a toy collector. I stumble across this. I was looking for this for a while. Daredevil Yellow, Marvel Legends. What I and it was on sale, so I bought it. But now I had to bring this home with me because I had 4 days worth of clothes packed into packed into a gym bag, and I didn't want to crush the box because that's as bad as breaking the toy. So I had it out on the table and holding, and everybody's walking past me. Are you gonna try to get that signed? No, I'm not trying to get it signed. I didn't even get into the part where Ho Sung Pak, who was the first Liu Kang in the first two Mortal Kombat games, and for those of you who remember WMAC Masters, he was Superstar, and Matt Mullins. I've been following his career since the documentary on the Discovery Channel, Extreme Martial Arts, where he's a 3-time world martial arts champion. He was off the tournament circuit for a couple years. He decided to try to make a comeback, and they followed his story. I wasn't allowed to talk to either one of them. Two phenomenal martial artists who big fan of. I'm not allowed to talk to either one of them because I have to be professional. I'm just a background actor. Okay. I'm livid. But now I'm being called out about it by this brand new idiot that I'm not necessarily paired off with. But he's basically calling me a coward because I wouldn't talk, because I was told not to talk to them, and I was doing exactly what I was told. So now you got this going on here. So what happens? He's like, why don't you try to get that signed? And basically calling me a coward because I'm doing what I was told. I didn't want that back. I didn't want that toy getting crushed. I didn't want the box getting crushed. That's the only reason why I was outside of my bag. We don't get called in till way after lunch again. A girl was complaining that she was union, and she was a background actress, and she was complaining that, oh yeah, she had to work for the past 4 days. She's mad that she had to work. I'm mad that I didn't get to work. Like maybe you should give me your union status. you know? And what winds up happening is, as we're, as Charlie Cox, I didn't know he was going to be on set that day. So the fact that he was there and it looked fishy, but I wasn't trying to talk to him. I get, and we're all laid down on the floor, and Charlie Cox is walking back and forth between us on set. At one point, he's like, "Hey, you guys are okay?" Like genuinely concerned. He's like, "You guys okay?" I popped up, gave him a thumbs up, said, "We'll live." Laid right back down. That was it. He laughed. Everybody laughed, and the assistant director, basically trying to keep everybody's spirits light, is showing off that he remembered everybody's name. And as he's doing this, Charlie Cox comes up behind him. Apparently, he's been doing this all season because now Charlie Cox is making fun of him for it. So this idiot who's been calling me a coward this whole time pops up and says, "He's got a doll for you to sign." Yeah. Embarrassed me, disrespected me, blew my spot up like you wouldn't believe. Thank God Charlie Cox is a cool dude because he got excited. He was genuine. He's like, "Really? Where is it?" I'm like, it's back in holding." He's like, "Okay, afterwards we'll sign." I was like, "Yeah, no problem. Okay." Wasn't trying to make a big deal out of it. I was basically just trying to get in there with my head still intact because I wanted to kill this idiot. Charlie Cox comes into the holding, comes into background holding, and actually signed the figure. You can't really see it. I don't know if you can see the black lines on it, but yeah. Yeah, he signs it for me. Thank God he was a cool dude. But now the rest of the PAs, the productions assistant, are looking at me dirty. One of them, as I was checking out, was like, "Don't bring anything else for him to sign." I was like, "I didn't even bring that for him to sign." But since I had his audience, there was something I was trying to do with Finn Jones, even though I know he's a jerk. There was something I was trying to do with Finn Jones because I do this with every celebrity. I make their figures and I give it to them. It wasn't even about like getting a picture with them, just as long as I did. And since Charlie Cox came still dressed as Daredevil, I showed him my artwork. Now the Daredevil and the Iron Fist back here, Daredevil as well as Iron Fist, I made those long before the Marvel shows were even being filmed. And I'm showing them to Charlie Cox. He's like, "This is bloody awesome." It was cool to get that reaction from him, and I get that from like all the celebrities that I meet when it comes to this. And since I was told it was 9 days of work, I said, "I would really love to just give this to you, but when is everybody else going to be on? When is Michael Cotter? When is everybody? When's the next day that everybody's going to be on set?" He said, "Wednesday." I said, "If I come back Wednesday, I will have figures for Daredevil, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, as well as Elektra." We get sent home that day. So that weekend, I am furiously working my light-skinned Puerto Rican tuchus off to get Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Elektra to give to the actors. I get the phone call telling me, "Yes, we don't need you anymore." I can't help that it was because of that idiot blowing my spot up, and maybe a little bit more because I finally had somebody's attention. Because I tried doing this with Finn Jones. I went to the PAs. They said, "Oh, let me get back to you. Can I have your email address?" Then I never heard back from them. So the fact that I finally had the celebrity, so yeah, I asked him. Since I had his attention, he was coming out to sign this thing anyway. I didn't even have a pen for him to sign it. But this was something that I just want. This is just something that I do for every celebrity that I meet. It was just, if nothing else, a kind gesture. And watching the scene that I was in, it just literally made my blood boil to have to remember all of that. It's not fair. I am severely pissed off. I genuinely don't care if I ever work on another Marvel set again. And that's pretty bad because I love Marvel comics. I love these shows. And it's just wrong. You know, it's cool that I was able to get this signed by Charlie Cox. Charlie Cox, if you're listening, like seriously, dude, thank you so much. I wanted to give these to everybody. Like somehow, some way, be able to give it to everybody, even if, you know, not gonna be able to make it to New York Comic Con. Couldn't make it to San Diego Comic Con, but if there was some way I could get on, if there was some way I could be able to meet the five of you guys and be able to give these to you, like it would be awesome beyond belief. That being said, I'm done talking. You guys have a good night.